Good hello friends, my name is Mel and welcome back to my channel. Today is the start of the Foul Lady Fortune reading vlog and I am so freaking excited to talk about this book. If you guys didn't know, I read These Violent Delights and Our Violent Ends. I literally always forget what the names of the books are. I read the first two books in this universe, in the violent universe that it is, and I absolutely ate them up. I listened to them over audiobook in either October or November, and I read them almost back to back, and I loved them to the point where like I was in a book hangover for all of November. So it wasn't October. I was in a book hangover. I didn't realize I was in a book hangover for that long, but I was, unfortunately. I'm just so excited to dive back into this world with some new and familiar characters, and I can't wait to see where it takes us. Okay, so I just got to chapter 11, which is about 100 pages in, and I am obsessed with Rosalind and Oliver, or not Oliver, Orion, which I'll get to that in a minute. I love the banter between the two of them. I love a good fake dating trope in any scenario, so the fact that like excuse me, the fact that, what is going on? There are so many sounds happening. The fact that we get fake dating in their world, and you know, we went from Romeo and Juliet in the first two books to this, like, I don't know. I'm gonna Google this actually in a second. I don't know if this is meant to be a retelling of any sort. I'm really going into this book super blind. I just know that it happens 10 years later, and a lot has happened since the end of book 2 in the Violent series. What is it called? These Violent Delights and Our Violent Ends. So the word violent is in both of them, so I'm just gonna call it the Violent series, even though it's These Violent Delights 1 and 2. But a lot has happened since then, and our girl Rosalind is really going through it. You know, Lady Fortune, or Fortune as she likes to be called, is really a menace to society. I like the cover a lot too, because you can see like there's some foreshadowing in how all of this is designed, and already 100 and some pages in, 102 pages in, I can see where we're like sitting and what's gonna come in the future of this book. So I'm just excited to keep reading because it's so fascinating. The one thing I will say, I absolutely despise the fact that the brothers' names are Oliver and Orion, because they're just so similar in my head. So when I see one of the names, I really have to like pause and read which name it is and like understand the setting better. I just think I tend to fly through books pretty quickly, and like if I don't stop and think about what's happening for a minute, then I might get confused with automatically thinking it's one character when it's really the other. So we got a glimpse into Oliver's story and Oliver's life and what he does while his brother Orion, who is with Rosalind, is doing things. So when I first read Oliver's name, my brain automatically read it as Orion, and I was like confused because Orion was just somewhere else, and now it's like, did we jump? It's like, no, it's literally a different character. I think that is just something that I have to be good about paying attention to. So I'm really enjoying the layers of this book already, and I'm really curious to see like where the divide is gonna take us and how Rosalind's condition is going to show up later in the book. So I'm super excited, and I can't wait to update you guys. I can talk so fast some days. Okay, so I was just on Goodreads and I was looking at the series, and there is a Roma Juliet Christmas special, and it's on Chloe Gong's website. So I'm 110% gonna read this. It's like a 27-page ebook, but you can like scroll up and like look how cute this is. It takes place when Roma and Juliet are 15, so it's 4 years before the events of These Violent Delights. So there's no spoilers, the year's 1922. I'm very excited considering the fact that it's almost Christmas, and oh my gosh, I'm gonna read this. look at my face right now, okay? Yes, do I have a giant light blinding me? Sure, but is this book tearing me to pieces? Just a little bit. Where do I even begin? Okay, we're gonna backtrack a little bit to chapter 19. This is an Oliver chapter. I love that both brothers in this novel are little saps when they want to be. So Oliver is speaking to Celia and she says, "You would have been shot if I hadn't done that. Are you serious right now? That's the risk I take on as an agent. That's the risk I'm willing to bear while fighting for the nation. If I get shot, I get shot. You don't put yourself in my firing line like that." "Oh, sure," Celia spat. "Nation over everything, right? Even your life?" And then he responds, "Yes, Celia, nation over everything. But not to you, sweetheart. Never your life in exchange." Are you kidding? And then we fast forward to the absolute gems of this book, Rosalind and Orion. They put on a fake fight to cause a distraction, if you will. And at what point it gets so tender and so sweet, and it becomes not their personas, but it becomes Rosalind and Orion. And it's just like such a wholesome moment where you sit there and you're like, oh, just game over. That's it. They're gonna fall in love. And I think so far my favorite scene, oh, I wish I marked it. I'll have to go back and find it, because it's such a wholesome moment where I legitimately like was, oh, I found it. Oh my god, I found it. Oh, I have to mark it now. It's just so sweet the way that Orion is like I said, tender. And that is, I think, the only way that I can put it, is because they're so like harsh and they're so serious given the circumstances that they need to be in. So seeing these like sweet, gentle moments are so freaking wholesome, and it makes you like love these characters so much more. She even says, calling him back, she almost wanted to call him back, but calling him back required effort, and Rosalind had none remaining. Like, it's just the fact that she was like so close to being like, no, like come back and spend the night with me, like come back and provide this little bit of peace. Then I'm like, god damn it, like these characters are really, they're gonna do me in. Okay, I'm about 300 pages in. Like I said before, this book is 500 some pages long. I want to finish this tomorrow because I need to understand what happens in these next 300 pages to like make me feel this way. This is too much, simply too much. Hi friends. So I realized that a lot of this vlog ended up being montagey and less me speaking about what is happening in the book, what my reactions have been. But from that last clip that you guys just saw, I just rewatched it on my phone because I wanted to film it as a time lapse, then I was like, no, I'm just gonna film it directly on my camera and then, or on my phone, and then I'll like watch it and react to it together. I just rewatched it. And I just think my reaction to the ending of this book is hilarious. I sat and read like 200 and something pages yesterday because I was determined to finish Foul Lady Fortune before the end of the year, and I did it. So that ended my 2022 with 32 books because I finished the audiobook that I was listening to as well. So I knocked off 2 books in one day, bringing the total number of books read to 32 for the year, which I am extremely proud of. I just think that this frame this frame right here where I literally flipped the page and like that was it. The big reveal happened at the very end as to who Priest was, and it's just there, and that's all she left you with. I will say that Foul Lady Fortune gets a 4.5 from me for the fact that the ending of this book really kind of saved it. However, throughout the novel as a whole, I found myself not as invested in certain moments, and as strange as that sounds, like I was so intrigued by our characters. I think this cast of characters really kind of saved some of the spottier plot points, really similar to these Violent Delights and Our Violent Ends. I liked book 1, but I loved book 2, so I think that might be the case for Foul Lady Fortune and whatever sequels come after it. So Foul Lady Fortune's novella comes out February 28th, and it's called Last Violent Call / Secret Shanghai. What? Oh, the entire, okay. This entire series is called Secret Shanghai series. Very interesting. Okay, I can see that. So I'm here for it. Chloe Gong has me by the throat. I will read anything she writes. And I'm really, really impressed by this story. Like truly, I think it's so fascinating, and I'm really excited to see how that novella bridges the Violent Delights to Foul Lady Fortune and what that gap looked like. So overall, I am just really, really pleased. I'm very excited to be in this world again. Am I sad that it's over? Yes. Will I be rereading Foul Lady Fortune when whatever the sequel, the actual full sequel comes out? Probably. Probably try to get it on audio and re-listen to it because it is such a fun experience. Overall, this was a great way to end the year. I am so happy that I got another 500 pages read before the year ended. And I'm just excited that this experience was what it was. I feel like every time I'm able to sit down and read a book physically without needing the audiobook, it's a big win for me right off the bat. But 2, it's just so fun to be that engrossed in a world and constantly be flipping the pages like what's gonna happen next. I feel like I've had a really hard time, and I was actually talking to one of my friends about this recently, where finding that same itch for a book has been really hard for me to find. Like I was thinking about filming a 5-star predictions video, but I have no idea what would be a 5-star because as you saw from my wrap up for the year, I only had 2 5-star reads. And one of them was the Romeo and Juliet short story novella, whatever you want to call it, like the 30-page thing. So it's really interesting to see how much my reading standard has changed, and I really appreciate the fact that Foul Lady Fortune did live up to that. I did round it up to a 5-star on Goodreads, but it is a 4.5. It's how I'm ranking it in my overall reading tracker. But it was still such a good time, and I feel like a dummy for not picking up this series earlier because people have yelled at me to pick this up for years. Amanda has yelled at me to pick up this series since the book came out in 2020. So I'm just super pleased, and I cannot wait for the next books. So with that being said, I am going to go ahead and wrap up the video here. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out for the last book of 2022. And I am so excited to see what books I end up reading in 2023. Until then, I'll catch you soon.